I'm here with Glyn and Sophia Barrett.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, buddy.
Nice to meet
You guys head up the entire Audacious ministry.
Yeah.
It's great to meet you. I'd just like to kick off by asking you about Audacious. What are the core values? What's it all about?
Audacious as a word, as a ministry, was birthed in a prayer meeting, and we were just praying one day, just three guys, and we said the words, God helps to be audacious. And when I prayed that word, I stopped. I looked at the guys. They kind of had their eyes open. They were looking at me. And I said, that's it, isn't it? And they said, that's it. We're called to be audacious. And we kind of paused. Didn't really know what the word meant. Went to the dictionary. Thought, wow, that's amazing. And so out of a youth camp, a conference was birthed, and that was 4 years ago. And then out of that, 10 months ago, Audacious City Church was planted in the city centre of Manchester.
Sure.
I think when you see the definition of audacious, it's a real great understanding of who Jesus was. He was bold, he was daring, he was dangerous, he was fearless, he was unrestrained by convention. In fact, Jesus was everything they thought the Messiah shouldn't be in a lot of ways. And so really, Audacious is about recapturing that kind of that gritty, raw feel. Acts 17 talks about the early church disciples are actually called trouble causers and revolutionaries. And so there's that sense of rawness and edginess, and audacious means to challenge assumptions. And so we just want to really present Jesus to society in a way that people actually don't think he is. They think he's gentle, meek and mild, when one famous author said he's actually gentle, meek and wild all at the same time. So that's really kind of what we're about.
I'm not necessarily a muso, but I just love worship, and I love seeing young people, getting a hold of God. So that's what I'm really passionate about.
Sure.
So,
I'm just excited to see, 12 and 14-year-olds getting a grasp of God and what God can do, and them just being infectious in their school, in their family, in the city, and just having an influence. The young people in Manchester, probably nationally have a bad reputation for gangs and for, not really going anywhere. But I just want to see the young people, from Audacious, just transform it and just say there's something going on for the young people in Manchester.
I love Manchester so much that I will travel back and forth for 2 years from Sheffield to Manchester, living in two places at once. I will do a Wednesday night meeting in Manchester and travel back to Sheffield, to come back for Thursday night rehearsal, to go back, to come back on Friday nights for youth, to stay for a few days, and then travel back for work at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning. That is how much I love Manchester.
It's amazing to just see, young people singing their heart out with these songs which have come out of our church, which we've seen our youth group sing, and we've seen, the families in the church sing, and it's part of our life now, and then we bring it to the conference and see it kind of burst onto a whole new level.
When I try and think of the future and I think about what can God do, literally God can do anything. So I mean, we don't want to limit anything by our thoughts. I mean, we really want to see people impacted and effectively discipled. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just a case of hit and run. Sure. It's not just a case of rocking up, say, that with the schools team in a school. It's not a case of us just hitting the campus and disappearing. It's a case of we want to do things that actually create a doorway for people to walk into a new life and be supported in a new life.
Let's catch our kids, let's catch their imagination while they're young and bring them into the house of God young and start them off young. We don't just play a bunch of games, we do actually set time aside for them to have spirit-filled worship and really get into the Word of God. And we do silly actions to remember Bible verses, good attitude, and things like that. But at the same time, we make sure that our kids get what they need.
The Academy is about training a generation of audacious people. So we are, week in, week out, Monday to Wednesday, we're putting lectures on for people that are saying, my future demands that I have to make a great choice today, that I have to make great decisions today. We want future prime ministers. We want people in the limelight of sport. We want people in public arenas that are audacious in character, not just in church, but throughout their lifestyle. The people that we're looking for is emerging leaders, so it's not age specific. We really want to see people of all ages that just feel they've got a heart to serve their generation come on the course. We want to see people come into Manchester, get trained up, go back to their locality, to stand up in the classroom, to be a witness in my school, to be a witness in my college, to go out on the streets just with a boldness that says, you know what, I'm going to make a difference. I refuse to just be mediocre and average and normal. I have to make a difference. I have to have God's fingerprint on what I'm doing in my life. And I think that's what Audacious is. I think that's what audacious leadership is.
It's at the heart of everything that we do. We want to create a culture that's not just leaders that are leading well, but it's not just a Sunday meeting, what we're doing in life together. But it's just open for all ages and all groups of people. And within that, it just gets a real sense of family and just people, again, are just connecting and just really spending time with one another.
So it's being deliberately enthusiastic about everything because of the God that we serve. He's enthusiastic, and therefore to be enthusiastic.
Yeah. And enthusiasm is a great word. It's a theological word.
That's right.
Enthusiasm comes from the prefix entheos, which in the Greek means to be in God. And when you read books like Ephesians, 36 times in Ephesians it says you're in God, you're in God, you're entheos, you're entheos, you're entheos. And so the outworking of our relationship with God should be one of enthusiasm. So we should show outwardly what God's done on the inside. And so that's expressed through our worship style. That's raw, it's edgy, everybody jumping, whether it's a quiet song or a loud song, people are showing outwardly everything God's done within their life. So try to make it attractive to the world, make a noise, let people sit up and go, wow, there's something happening in the church.
Yeah.